Xbox Game Pass is the worst deal in gaming, $360 a year. That's what Microsoft now wants for Xbox Game Pass Ultimate in 2025. It was $180 a year in 2019. They have literally doubled the price inside of 6 years. And every single time they hike it, they roll out with the same couple of bullet points to justify it. Today, we're going to tear every single one of these bullet points apart. I'll show you exactly why the Xbox Game Pass is no longer the best deal in gaming. It's a trap dressed up as value. I'm Vadd, and let me serve you a quick fire price history. Just look here. 2019, it was $14.99 a month, which comes out to about $180 a year. 2023, $16.99, which is about $204 a year. 2024 was $19.99 to $40 a year. And in 2025, it is $29.99, which is about $360 a year. That's right. It is a 100% increase inside of the first 6 years here. Because frankly, I don't know about you, but my income definitely didn't double. And every time the price jumps, Microsoft keeps dropping these lines like, hey, rising development cost. Hey, look at more value than ever. Blah, blah, blah. Yeah, bro, cool story. Let's take a look at this more value. Games cost hundreds of millions to make now. This is the industry's favorite excuse. Games are expensive. We have to charge you more. Here's the problem. They are choosing to make their product cost hundreds of millions. Nobody's forcing them. They could absolutely make a game on a comparatively modest budget of maybe just a cool 50 million. Instead, they roll the dice and gamble the entire bank, turn around and say, hey, sorry, we have to charge you more because we chose to spend $500 million. This is not inflation. This is bad business decisions being offloaded onto you and your wallet. The ridiculous talk about games costing hundreds of millions is an excuse that factually most studios are still making games on a more conservative budget. You know, well under the hundreds of millions. This everything costs more narrative only applies to a tiny handful of titles. Who could forget all the hype around cloud gaming? They hype cloud gaming like it's some divine revelation, the feature that's supposedly going to change everything, except we all know it won't, because almost nobody uses cloud gaming. Actually, if you paid attention to the court filings from the Microsoft Activision trial when the acquisition was going on, Microsoft came up and admitted that most cloud gaming users aren't playing remotely at all. The users they have that are, their air quotes here, cloud gaming users, they're just using the cloud gaming feature to preview on their own Xbox consoles. You're just testing the game before downloading it. Yes, that's right. The big revolutionary feature here they just won't shut up about is really just a fancy demo button. Then comes the famous line we keep hearing about, right? Quote, double-digit percentages of all Xbox playtime is now cloud, end quote. Yeah, cool. So you mean like 89% of players don't touch it? 90% of players don't touch it? And you already admitted the ones who do use your cloud gaming, most of them are already on Xbox consoles and they're just checking out a game. They're not streaming it. They're not remote playing it. It's a test drive. So again, who is cloud gaming actually targeting? And why am I, or any reasonable person, supposed to be paying extra for a feature we'll never use? Hey, if this video opened your eyes even a little, do me a favor, hit like so YouTube pushes it out to more people. It genuinely helps folks who might not realize what's going on and how much they're losing here. For example, you might say to me, Vadd, let's just ignore the steamy pile of spin on the cloud gaming thing, and let's ignore they chose to overspend hundreds of millions to then offload their gambling debts onto us. Vadd, how could you forget? They added in the full Fortnite crew pack, ultimate super duper big V-Bucks skins and wins bundle package thingy. To which I would say, did you really take a double dose of stupid pills today? Who is that offer actually targeting? I get it. Let's be fair here. About half of Fortnite players are estimated to be between 10 and 25 years of age, playing on preferably a console or a mobile device. Again, these are estimates. Fortnite has never publicly put these numbers out. We don't have the internal data, but we do know this. Fortnite is not the most popular game for that demographic of 10 to 25 years of age. It's not even close. The demographic that Fortnite is most popular in is actually preteens. That means users under the age of 13, and they play on a mobile device. They've never paid for anything in all the at most 12 years of their life. These are literally children. That is Fortnite's most dominant market share. You're trying to tell me you're marketing your expensive subscription product to actual children who are playing a free-to-play game? Who was the moron looking at all the public data that very clearly shows the average aim of a gamer on planet Earth is over the age of 40? It's 40 plus, and you said, yeah, let's bundle in our perks for kids with no money? Come on, seriously, yes, these two audiences live on the same planet, sure, but they don't share a wallet. You're stuffing a kiddie toy into a premium product and then expecting adults to celebrate it? Really? Fortnite V-Bucks? And they love the push out about their partners in gaming that they've added old, let's see here, Ubisoft and other classic games. Assassin's Creed Origins goes on sale for $5. Assassin's Creed Odyssey, Black Flag, these are $5 titles. These old Ubisoft games go on sale 4, 5, 6, 7 times a year on competing platforms. You could literally buy the entire Assassin's Creed catalog for less than 2 months of this Game Pass Ultimate. Nobody who's actually paying attention is looking at a $5 game and going, you know what? I'll pay $30 a month for that because someone has to get screwed here, right? And hey, let's not forget the 75 day one games every single year. This is the big one, the crown jewel they keep beating us over the head with. That's right, 70 day one launches. What a bargain, just a great deal. Except when you actually look at the list, 2025 might be on track for 8 to 10 real big games, 10 to 15 kind of mid-sized titles, and the rest of them are games you've never heard of and probably never played. There's some kind of pixel art, roguelite, deck building simulator, whatever slop they approve to fill out the promise. Let's face the truth here. Going off of just personal data between me and my friends, I'm going to tell you right now, the average gamer plays maybe 3 to 5 new games a year. The average gamer who's actually pretty invested in the hobby plays maybe 3 to 5 new games a year. I think most of us have 2 or 3 series we actually really care about, and that's where we dump our hundreds of hours inside of a year into those comfort games. 75 day one fresh from the ovens just don't move the needle, especially when 65 of them are games you will never touch. Or maybe at most you boot up, you play 20 minutes, and you never touch again. It's basically backlog poison. This is fear of missing out marketing. This is not value, it is volume. 71 games is only impressive if your hobby is hoarding menus you'll never click. It's a giant buffet of food, and it just doesn't matter because you're only hungry for a few things. And here's the real math. The corpos hope you never do this math. $360 a year is enough to buy 4, maybe even 5 full-price new releases. You know the games that you actually care about, not the 70, 72, 73 other odd filler titles you're not going to open. Most players don't actually want 75 random day one releases. They want 2 or 3 big releases that they are actually excited about and they care about. And, you know, I think they'll happily buy those outright on their preferred platform for their preferred experience. And frankly, that's going to be way less than the simple math of an annual subscription of $360. Let's just talk common sense here. There is no incentive for the power players to give you unfiltered truth. If leadership came out and said, hey, yeah, so cloud is too niche, we sold a few 100 million consoles but didn't really support games or devs proper, so cloud is just a prayer and a gamble to maybe find new customers somewhere in osmosis, and yeah, we know it, you know it, everybody knows it. The Ubisoft classics are just dumpster filler. We have decades of data showing that most of you only actually care about maybe 3 games a year. If they said that level of honesty would see the stocks drop and their assumed value. This entire narrative would collapse. And that's why we always get these carefully worded releases with perfect percentages cherry-picked to make sure the brand always looks like it's crushing it and providing all this value. Frankly, I don't think the average person is noticing the bigger pattern here. It's a dark pattern in how subscription creep is manipulating you. This isn't just a price hike. It's not even just the Xbox Game Pass. It's a systemic subscription playbook used by all the major corporations. Pay attention to subscription creep. It's when over time the prices raise slowly. Not enough to trigger outrage in any single year, but enough to bleed you long term. It's planned out decades in advance. The big companies have always planned to raise the cost, and they'll justify it later as needed. They want to hook you and get that inertia, that motion. They're relying on you to be busy and tired and distracted and not having a real budget and paying attention to your bank account. It hooks you on the fear of missing out, flooding you with dozens of new games, shows, songs that make you feel like you're missing something if you cancel. They all have too many tiers on purpose, too many tiers with too many features, all designed to make the safe choice seeming to be sticking with the most expensive plan. If you've ever felt that little bit of anxiety about canceling, but what if I need it later? That's not an accident. That's engineered. The goal here is simple. They want to keep you paying for value you're not actually using because it creates fat revenue they can gamble on their next roll of the dice. And here, Game Pass Ultimate is no different. It's built on the exact same playbook as the Netflixes, the Spotifys, the Amazons, really all of them. Listen up here. I'm going to say it for everyone to hear. Subscription creep is designed to drain you slowly. Not enough to cancel, but enough to make sure they bleed you out over time. And frankly, the more confused you are, the more you'll stay. Wake up, gamers. Stop settling with, yeah, that sucks. It is what it is. Instead, reframe that thought into something more raw like, wait, they're manipulating me? Look at this. Let's zoom out for a second because this subscription creep is not happening in a vacuum. It's part of a much bigger trend across gaming, videos, music, software. When you compare the numbers on a longer timeline, the pattern becomes undeniable. The more you compare across industries, the more clear it becomes. Netflix has repeatedly raised prices and reshuffled its tiers, so the ad-free experience now costs more than ever. Amazon Prime has just about almost doubled from its opening price point, while also carving Prime Video into an ad-supported default and then costing extra to clean up and lose the ads. Other name brands like Spotify, Apple Music, Disney, they've all pushed through these significant monthly price hikes across multiple regions year after year, cleverly staged out and planned, often locking formerly standard features behind higher priced premium tiers as they continue to nudge users toward those bundled ecosystems like Apple One or the Spotify Duo Family Plan. And the real kicker here for gamers is this ridiculous cost, about hundreds of millions, to make these games is just an excuse that factually only applies to a tiny handful of titles. Most studios are making games on a much more conservative budget. You know, well under the hundreds of millions. This everything costs more narrative is only existing because a select few companies keep trying to build that $669 oh so nice $1 million blockbuster franchise nobody asked for. This is not just a Microsoft Game Pass problem. This is a subscription economy problem. The more you compare across industries, the clearer it becomes how the price hikes are not really about value. They're about conditioning. They're continuing to test how far they can push before you push back. Hey, wake up gamers. The Game Pass is a bloated, padded corporate subscription that relies on you not doing math, not checking market prices, and not noticing that 90% of the value is stuff you will never touch. Remember, subscription creep is banking on inertia, that motion, the fact that most people won't cancel even when it really stops making sense. Don't be that person. Vote with your wallet, because the second enough of us walk away, the price either comes down or the service actually gets better. Until then, $360 a year for a bunch of $5 Ubisoft bargain games, another rogue deck building simulator copy pasted is not the best deal in gaming. It's the best deal in corporate gaslighting. If you're tired of corporations squeezing you one subscription at a time, be part of the pushback. Hit like so this video shows up for the next person who doesn't realize how much they're overpaying, and drop a comment so the algorithm knows people actually care about this.